sessions. We have 4 sessions planned today till I think Thursday or something. And I'll help you with that understanding about the SRE. Okay, so what is SRE? Why do we need SRE? Why it's popular? What are the ways to practice SREs and things like that? And then I'll help you with a container orchestration tool like a Kubernetes. Okay, and then I'll help you with the Nginx and then Dynatrace. So we have our durations also for SRE with 2 hours and remaining tools like a Kubernetes, Nginx, Dynatrace and all. We have a 3 hours. So I'll try my best to cover all these topics as per the expectations. Again, guys, this is your session. So when you have some questions and stuff like that, do not hold it with yourself. Speak it out, and then I'll try to address those questions as well. So yeah, so coming back to my experiences, I've started my career in 2005, and since then I've been working with many organizations with various roles and responsibilities. So some of the organizations where I have worked in the past, which includes Accenture, Mindtree, IBM Lab, Nest Technology, Adobe System, Intuit, ServiceNow, GDA, Kotokas in India as well as abroad. Some of the roles and responsibility which I have played out, starting with the programming, then build and release, then DevOps, DevSecOps, SRE, cloud, containers, CI/CD automations and stuff like that. These are the things, microservices. So these are the things I have done it. So from last few years, I'm into the corporate training and consulting domain. So that is how I'm helping other people to get the DevOps, SRE, DevSecOps practices done. And same time, I'm learning also from them and improving myself also. Okay, so any questions anyone have? Any questions?
I think we are good.
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Here it is. Okay, so guys, all of you have a little bit of knowledge about the DevOps, correct? Correct now?
Yes. Hey guys, let's make it more interactive, okay?
Yes, that is good actually. So it's just only 2 hours or 3 hours of session. Let's talk it out and share our experiences and all. So yes, so now I'm going to teach you what is SRE. I'm going to cover what is SRE. This is a 100% theoretical session. Okay, so these 2 hours only theory, and other sessions which is like a Kubernetes and other tools will have a complete demo based sessions. So that is how we'll get into that. So yeah, so SRE. So here we have a 3 words. Okay, here we have a 3 words: site. And then second keyword which we have is reliability. And third one in which we have engineering. So site means our website, our applications, which we host, which we manage for our end user. Reliability is a huge word actually. Reliability, I mean, you can say it has lots of small, keyword. And to make the site reliable, you have to not only do one thing, you have to do hundreds of things. Now, some of the things I'll discuss in this also. But reliability means that overall, your application, the website should be live, up and running without any issues as such, with a good user experience for the end user. That is a reliability. And engineering, there is a one keyword which we have, engineering. So when you manage the website for reliability, your objective is reliability. Your website should be reliable for the end user. So for that, you need to follow certain approach. Certain approach means what approach? That approach, some certain tools, certain practices, certain mindset, certain culture which you need to develop in the team. And then everything you start doing through the coding. Yes, engineering approach means engineering team, that they do the code. So these practices you have to bring it in SRE team also. That means earlier you used to call it ops team. Now we have SRE team. So yes, SRE team will manage the website. The objective is to make it reliable for the end user, and the approach what they will follow is of the developers, engineering team. Are you understanding all of you?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, site reliability engineering, that's called site reliability engineering. Started another way. Reliability can be seen as a probability of success, durability, dependability, quality over time, ability to perform our functions. So multiple things are there. Okay, I don't want to complicate with a few keywords because that will hardly matters to you in your work. But yes, when you want to convey some messages to the management or the peers or someone else outside, then and you're in a discussion, so you have to do that. So you have to know about this. So what is an SRE? What is SRE? So this is an approach to operations. It's operations teams, okay? So it's an approach to operations which uses software as a primary tool for managing a system, okay? Multiple software which we use it in the operations. Now, here engineering, we understand that engineering approach, you bring the approach, actually engineering approach. It's approach to operations. So what approach? Engineering approach. So what engineering they do that? So they, whenever they develop some functionality, they plan for it, they design for it, they develop for it, they test for it, they deploy and then maintenance. Something similar, you are going to do that. You as a team, something you have to implement. So start planning for it, then design for it, then code for it, then test and deploy and maintain. So bring the engineering approach in the ops team, that is called SRE. So site reliability engineering is what happens when you ask a software engineer, mind it, when you ask a software engineer to design and operation teams. Software engineer, those who love to code, and you want to design, you are asking them to design the operations team, that is called SRE. So this is the extensions of operations over the period of time which got improved. And this is said by Benjamin, who's the founder of Google SRE, in fact. So this keyword that's called this keyword which is called SRE is coming because of Google. They have introduced this concept. They have come up with lots of practices, use cases, tool set, templates, pros and cons for each and everything. What should be done, what should not be done. Everything they have come up with it. And now the whole world is practicing the same thing. Yeah, so they have published one book also, so you might want to refer it. So at the end of it, you will ask, okay, fine, I want to have a SRE organization or SRE team in place. So what are the responsibilities which we are going to perform? So yes, you're going to take care of the availability. That means the site should be available 24/7 without even single second of the downtime. Then SLA should be matched, SLO should be under control and everything. So that is your availability. You have to make it available, the system. And also not only it should be available, the performance of the system should be the optimal. So the UX, user experience, should be wonderful. And also if any issues, of course, issues will come, right? You may have a different kind of issues. So you have to manage your incident also, incident management. And then on top of that, we have to set up a monitoring. Now, I would not say monitoring, but I would say observability. You have to set up a observability for it. By the way, anyone have idea what is observability? I would like to know from you guys. Anyone?
Observability is like monitoring. Okay, so the monitoring is keyword is coming in that to check the health of the apps proactively.
Yeah. So monitoring is a basically subset of observability. So observability is cover the larger scope. So monitoring, if you look at the monitoring world, which is there from last 20, 30 years, basically works on the data which has happened in the past. Past means some of the data which has like CPU and RAM and all stuff like that, which you got it, which has consumed in the past. Or the present in which you get it. But using the observability, it will help you for prediction also. So this is also a very good thing. Okay, so this is something which you have it.
Rajesh, so for incident management, I wanted to know, like, as an SRE, is it a responsibility for resolving the incident, or is it a responsibility to identify how the system is being impacted and we should reduce the incident? So what exactly is the responsibility over there?
Can you come again? I just got lost in the question.
So when we say that responsibility of an SRE is for the incident management,
Yes,
is it a responsibility to resolve those incidents, or is it a responsibility to analyze and observe what kind of incident the systems are having and reduce them?
Everything, all of this which you said, and much more than that. So not only when I say incident management, complete life cycle of incident management. That means the moment SRE team is responsible for the moment the incident get opened, then you will work on that particular incident. Okay, and you'll try to see the pattern whether the incident is recurring all the time. So you have to automate it actually. So next time that incident should not open up. If it is like a unique incident, then it's okay. You can fix it and move on to the second one, something like that. Also, you'll create a documentation that we call it a run book actually. Okay, you'll create a documentation share with your team and then try to close it. So you as a team have to do everything. Entire life cycle of incident management you have to perform. Make sense?
Got it.
Yeah, and monitoring. So here we'll talk about the observability. Basically, probably if I get the time, I'll talk about observability also. But observability, basically, what you are doing in a nutshell, I'll tell you. Observability, you are monitoring all the matrices, that means systems and servers, and then applications, matrices, events, logs, APM, synthetic, RUM, everything, put it up together, and based on that you analyze the data. That's called observability. You predict the future based on the data. That's called observability. So nowadays observability is a very popular key term rather than monitoring, but yes, we have these are the responsibility. So what are the activities of an SRE? So yes, write a code. Write a code. So if you're getting scared, don't be, because I just said ops team to SRE team, this is a transformation has to happen. And SRE means engineering approach. Any problems you have to write a code for it. Start writing a code for it. And then you say, Rajesh, am I going to write a code for the Java or something like that? No. So there is a 3 types of coding as per my learnings. One code you write for the product, the functionality of the product. And then another code you write for the testing the product. And third code which you write for the CI/CD, infrastructure, monitoring, configuration management and stuff like that. So I'm talking about write a code which can help you to, not recurring that issues incident again, which is in the same with the same pattern. So write a code in Ansible, write a code in Terraform, write a code in CI/CD pipeline, maybe write a code for security, write a code for automating certain tasks, API, automating API operations using Python and all, YAML, JSON, various tools which you have in operation, which you have to work with it. Right? Are you understanding all of you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Be on call. Be on
Yeah.
call. Leader war rooms. So there is a problem in the software, so you have to lead this war room, and you have to perform the post-mortem, which I said, right? You get an incident, you have to perform the post-mortem. So there is some templates which Google suggests how you should do the post-mortem. There is one incident, I need to do the post-mortem, and that post-mortem should I should have a nice post-mortem report for that. And we see that if it is a pattern, it's a unique incident, or the incident which is recurring in the pattern, and if it is in pattern, we have to work on to automate it. Implement the best practices. And best practices, there are a lot of best practices which we have, but as per my feelings, which if I say best practice is something which you as a team decides for your project, because we have hundreds of best practices available in the Google from the different organizations, but not everything which might suitable for you. So if you sit as a team, if you gather as a team and discuss about the problems first, pain area, what you are doing, what you are not doing, what you are supposed to do, what you are not supposed to do for your project, what tool you should use, what tool you should not use it, how much budget you have, how many people you have, what are the skill set you have, what are the improvement areas which you have to, you have to upskilling area which you have to gain it. So this is all put it together and become a best practices. Simple. So you can create your own best practices as well. So these are the functions of site reliability engineering, and these are the important functions. So anyone who, if you're asking, hey, okay, so you are in ops team, now you are in a SRE team, how does it different? What special things you are doing, which you are not doing in operations? Or maybe less doing in operation, now you will do more in SRE. So you'll say, hey, the primary goal of SRE, which we got migrated from ops to SRE, the eliminating a toil. A toil means simply the work which is in repetitive in nature. So you want to automate, eliminate it. How? Automation, coding, and all stuff like that. So eliminate the toil, automating manual tasks, repetitive tasks, and that's your primary functions of SRE team. And after that, managing a risk. What is the risk I'm talking about here? Anyone? Anyone have idea what risk I'm talking about it?
During deployment times.
Deployment time. So guys, I'm sure about it. You must have worked with the AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, or any SaaS-based software. Correct? Any SaaS-based software. So now, every website, every site, every application which you see, they have service level agreement with the client. We call it SLA. SLA. That means if you breach the agreement, then you will have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. So if you breach the agreement, you have to pay for it. So this is something which we have to do that. So anyone have idea what are the different services what we have on AWS and what is their SLA agreement by the AWS? Anyone have idea?
You're talking about the compute infrastructure.
Yes.
Talking about the storage.
Yeah.
About the Cloudflare.
Performance.
Yeah. So if you look at each services of AWS or any cloud for the sake of it, or any like a Google also, Gmail also, or any other services, web-based application, Flipkart, Amazon, this, that, and all, ICICI Bank, everyone has SLA. SLA is like an agreement, it's a contract. You will sign with your clients and user. For example, let's say you guys are developing a website of ICICI.com and you are managing also. So ICICI Bank is a client. You are a development engineering team plus SRE team. So you will have signed a contract with ICICI Bank and saying that, hey, if my ICICI Bank SLA, when the runtime is not 99.9999%, then you will have to pay this much of money. It's like SLA contract. Risk is a risk. So if the site is down, beyond that certain agreement, the one which you sign it, then you have to pay in return actually, because this is their loss actually, right? ICICI Bank is losing the money, so they will also fine you for that what you are not, achieving the SLAs for it. Are you understanding, all of you? So SLA, the client contract between the clients and then you, development team, SRE team. And then you SRE team also, you also guys, you maintain one SLO. That's what should be the objective. So SLO should be always under SLA. Okay, so SLA is at the client level, but SLO within a team. So you say, hey, we as a team, we commit for this SLO. So this is our objective, response time for this particular application, or availability or reliability, whatever it, number of errors, rate of errors, or whatever it is, it should not go beyond that. Why? Because we should not reach to SLA. We should not pay the fine. Correct now? So SLO, SLA. And there is one more matrix you might be hearing a lot in SRE, which is called SLI. What is SLI? What is
Service
SLI?
level indicator.
Indicator. That means what is your current status? So see here, it's very simple. Current status, you get it from the system through the monitoring and observability. Objective you set within a team, which you used to have to adhere at any cost, and SLA between the you and your client. So managing a risk, SRE team will manage a risk, will always try to agree to the service level with explicit tolerance. What is allowed, what can be tolerated, what cannot be tolerated, and all these things. And on top of it, handling the failures, incident management, and post-mortem. So these are the primary functions of SRE team, site reliability engineering. Are you understanding, guys, all of you?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes, so that's important. So these are the functions which we have. So how do we compare the traditional ops which we are into S and SRE? So see here, very simple image, easy to explain in fact. So earlier what used to happen, ops team, they used to directly report to the business leadership, and development team also, they used to do the same thing. But there was huge gap between the ops team and development team. So development team say, hey, I want this feature to be introduced. And ops team say, hey, no, thanks. We want the reliability. We don't want your new features. If you want your future, probably we'll work on it, but slowly I'll introduce this feature and might take, see, you development team wants this feature to be introduced in the next week, but ops team will make it 2 months later. So the market, will become, I mean, the feature launch and addressing the market will be compromised, right? So here ops team says, hey, I want the reliability, but development team says, I want the new stuff, new feature, new functionality all the time. And you know what? This is the very interesting thing. Same business management team expect the reliability from the operations team, and the same business team, the management team, expect the new stuff from the development team. Correct? No? Correct. No? So how do you fill this gap? You know, earlier, if you look at the waterfall model, many years before Agile came, this was a problem. This something similar kind of problems which we had in the development team versus QA team. So development team were developing something else and QA team were testing something else. And they were having huge gap between them, development versus QA. So what they did, so they remove the waterfall model, they bring the Agile model, and in Agile model, you have to work together. You have to work together. You have to have a same day sync up, every day sync up meeting, and multiple other practices also got introduced. I'm not getting into that, but remember that earlier we had a gap between the development and QA. We got it Agile. Now we have a gap between the operations and development. We have to bring something, right? Some new practices, new tools, new process, new mindset, new culture, but wrapping up with some new keyword, which Google named it SRE. Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right.
So this is something which we have. So development team is involved with the design, development, testing, acceptance. Ops team are involved in support, maintenance, and capacity planning. And they do have a different skill set, different tool sets, no common ground, and they will work only during the delivery. And that time they will fight like anything. They'll fight. Hey, this is your mistake. This is my mistake. This is your mistake. This is not my mistake. Something like that. Okay, this will be done, but not now. Maybe next month, next month, next month, next month, next month. So like that. This is how the project get delayed. And you know the delay bring the technical debt. You know, because of technical debt, many organizations have died actually. They cannot sustain because of high cost of their development and running the software and very delay in the feature, I mean, delay of the software feature in the market. So yeah, this is the one. So some of the characteristics of ops team, which you should understand, and I believe all of you know that. So they have a ops team most of the time used to work in a black box delivery, limited agency, and after the event, they will do the reactions. For example, black box delivery means no design input. Automation options are limited. Infrastructure level monitoring, they do that. Not observability, mind it. These are the limitation. Limited latency, post exception, go or no go decision, they do that, and conflict guaranteed. After the event, mandate service level and receive reactive support. Reactive, not a proactive, reactive. That means issues has come, then you will react. It's not like you will predict the issues and then do the actions beforehand only. No. So it's like this. So what to do in this case? What to do? So here, look at this my screen, guys. This is the ops team, okay, and this is the SRE team. So what we got it? What we got it? So here, ops team got changed to SRE team. So let's say you guys are right now today ops team, but tomorrow I will call you SRE team. Then you will say, Rajesh, only the name change will it affect anything else? I am being called ops team, then tomorrow you're calling SRE team. How does that matter? Yeah, it matters a lot. Let me tell you, in order to be from transforming from the operations team to the SRE team, what you need to do, you know what? First thing, you have to change your mindset. Are you ready for coding or not? Yes. Good. No. Ops team. Are you ready to change the culture within a team? When I say culture, see, mindset is an individual stuff. I will change my mindset. You will change your mindset. That's the individual level. But at a team level, culture has to change. Are we ready to, work together? Reduce the repetitive work, automate most of the work, bringing the, automation in place, best practices in place, best processes in place, avoid the wastage, pain area, work as a team. This is the culture actually. And it's not one day you will be building actually, to be honest. It might take 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. It is taking time. So it's a team effort. So yes, first thing, if you want to transform into from SRE, from ops team to SRE team, change your mindset. Change the culture of your team. Then bring lots of automation in place and introduce lots of practices and process, tool set, automations, and blah, blah, blah. Then you will become SRE team. And so also you need to work with an engineering team. You need to work with the development teams. At what level? So yes, you see here, development team, you will do the design, development, testing, acceptance testing. That is for sure. But you need to involve at the design stage, saying that, okay, are you writing a code for this? Okay, so if I run the same code, how much CPU, how much RAM, how much infrastructure we needed? Let me be ready much in advance. So when you come back to us during the release, I'll say we are ready for the release within a 1 day. So we will get all the design inputs during the development, during the design, during the development, during the acceptance testing. So SRE team will be involved. Let me tell you, they are not going to work with them. They are going to get involved with them so they can get a clarity. It's an integration issue. They get a clarity about what my development team is doing this month. So they will come back to us with certain new feature next month. So I'll be more prepared because I'll be knowing about their requirement runtime or anything as such, capacity planning and all stuff like that. So I'll be more prepared, and I can, instead of saying that I will help you for the 1 month, I can make it in 1 hour or 2 days because I'm already prepared for that. Are you understanding? All of you?
Yep.
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes.
Yes. So it's like you have to work with it. This is called mindset changes. This is the cultural changes. Sometimes say, hey, ops team, hey, I don't care about what development team is doing, what code they are writing. I don't want to worry about it. Whenever they will come, I'll take care of it. That's the ops team. But you'll say, no, I want to see the design. I want to see their development efforts. I want to see that what are the parameters they have it for acceptance testing. So same parameter, we will clone it at the production level also. I want to plan for capacity planning. I want to see the runtime environment. I want to see that security loopholes, what they may bring it. Maybe you should advise, okay, you guys are doing this development, but there is some security loopholes you may introduce in the runtime, because we are running a production server. We know that what should be there, what should not be there. So yes, so when you transform the operations team to SRE team, there's become a shared goal, overlapping skill set, consistent tool, common basics. And these are the areas where you want to work together. So not only you will work with the development team also will work with you during the support. How? So there is some issues in the system. I mean, there is one incident got open, and I'm not sure what to do. So yes, development team will work with you on the same platform, consistent tooling, common basics, same platform, and they say, hey, I got to know these issues. Actually, these issues is because of some coding issues or some function call or some configuration issues. I can help you. It's like, so why we are doing all this thing? But why we are doing all this thing? Because we want to reduce the downtime. We want to reduce the integration time. We want to reduce the you want to improve the availability and reliability of the applications. We want to improve the customer experience of the end user. So we all are coordinating with each other at the very high, very low level. Earlier we used to do at the high level. Okay, so yes, development team also will work with the support and capacity planning, and they will help you. They will give their inputs. You can give their inputs. So now in the SRE world, you both need to work together. Okay, I'm not saying like you're going to write a code for the product or testing the product, but yes, you have to write a code. You have to bring the engineering approach. You have to write a code for infrastructure. You have to write a code for configuration management. You have to write a code for security. You have to write a code for the deployment and all stuff like that. Monitoring. So this is SRE team. So yes, SRE team will bring agreed delivery, full agency after the events also. So ongoing design inputs, you can be a part of it. Extended automation options, user focused monitoring, dev supports you have available, stop deployments, hand back to the pagers, and agreed service level and limited support time. So these are some of the characteristics of SRE team. So when you want to compare DevOps versus SRE, then how can you do that? So guys, DevOps, the one which you might be hearing a lot from last almost 8 years. Almost 8 years. Everyone is talking about that. I want to become a DevOps engineer. I want to hire a DevOps engineer. We want to practice DevOps in our project. We are a DevOps company actually. And I think you all know about that, right? But what is a DevOps, guys? What is a DevOps? Anyone? Anyone?
They do help in the applications deployment and server configurations.
Combination of development and operations.
Yes.
And monitor the memory leakages and memory issues.
Oh yeah, that anyways operations will do that. So you combine the team, so everything. So I'll put it in a very simple way because I'll share some of my old recordings on DevOps. It's like a 3 to 4 hours of lecture. Okay, just remind me on that. So I'll put it in a very simple way. We are talking about lots of DevOps, but hardly few organizations are doing DevOps. Why? Because DevOps, we don't have too many teams actually. Not too many. We don't have even two teams actually. We don't have any teams actually. We have only one team. There is one team, one goal, one objective, one mindset, one culture, common practices, common process, common tool set. Only one team who's responsible for coding for the software. I repeat, the same team, you are responsible for coding for the software, you are responsible for coding for the testing the software, and you same team is responsible for the coding for the infrastructure, CI/CD operations and security. That means you as a one team will do everything for the software develop planning till the delivery and operations. No multiple team, no dev team, no QA team, no IT team, no operations team, no architect team, no multiple team. There is one team and that's called DevOps team, and they will do everything. huge objective actually. This is like a dream comes true for the organizations. But you know what? In the real time, if you practice, if you see that trends which is going on, so they have a development team also, they have a QA team also, they have a architect team also, they have a DevOps team also. So now basically what I have seen, I have experienced DevOps team basically nothing but sometime build and release team they migrated to DevOps team, or sometime they operations team they call it the DevOps team. Sometimes that's automation team they call it a DevOps team. Sometimes tooling team they call it a DevOps team. But is it really DevOps team? No. Because as I said, DevOps team is a one team which is responsible for planning till operations. Everything will be done by one team. And are you the one? No. Maybe no. Maybe yes. So DevOps team, and it's very difficult to achieve this target actually. If you really want to practice the real DevOps, it's lots of changes required at organization level, lots of changes required at the individual level and team level. And achieving is a really challenging for the organizations. So, you know, DevOps actually, it is a very nice concept, very nice thing. But in reality, many organizations failed to do that, including Google. So they realized that, yes, if I expect everything to be done from the one team, might not work. So can we have, instead of, you know, earlier what we have, multiple teams, and suddenly you bring it one team, merge it all teams together. So you know that change, people don't like a change. You know that. People don't like this. They say I like to be changed, but actually they don't like to be get a change. Okay, so I'll put it in simple way. We all travel from home to office through buses. I mean through car and bike, right? We Ola and Uber also we have a. But suddenly in the outer ring road, the government of Bangalore introduced the buses, one direct lane actually. Have you seen that? All of you?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how many of you have tried for that? So that whole lane was empty, few buses, it was, you know, so they do not attract the lots of users actually, the lots of passengers, because we don't want to change. Still we are going, we'll reach office a little bit 10 minutes later, but still we don't want to change. So yes, so the same thing has happened in the software industry also, software projects, software companies also. It's very difficult to transform the employees and employer also, by the way. Employer means organization also. Organization also is like very scared to change. You know, bringing the new practices, like they'll get scared. And sometimes, you know, introduction of the new practices, new process might take years and 2 years and 5 years also. I've seen few organizations, they've been driving the training of DevOps. They got transformed everyone. I mean, they got trained everyone. And then after that, they said, no, we'll not do the DevOps. We'll go into the SRE. Why? So this is a huge objective you have. Suddenly you want to change from X to Y side of it. So yes, this has failed, and that's where the Google realized that, and they said, hey, let's not do the DevOps immediately. Let's do that. DevOps is good. There's no doubt about it, but let's do one thing. First, transform into SRE. That means, see, you have a one team, engineering team, those who are supposed to do the development and testing, and then you have operations team. Let's do one thing. First, let them work together at a certain levels. And once they'll start working together for a few months or few years, and once they get comfortable with each other, their mindset, tool set, ecosystem, culture, and everything will, when they get adjusted with each other, then practice the DevOps. So yes, so the SRE is a one of the way to reach through the DevOps concept. So yes, here business says, give me the reliability to the same team and give me the new stuff. But DevOps seems is saying what, you know, hey, no new feature until automated. We have automated the release process, because I said right in the DevOps culture, everything has to be automated except the coding. So everything should be automated. This is called CI/CD process. I think some of you might be, you know, practicing it as well. So CM is continuous integration, then continuous delivery, then continuous deployment. So these are the things people wants to do that in the DevOps team. So when the business wants the new reliability, a new feature, DevOps team says, hey, we are transforming into the DevOps. Just give me some time. We want to work on the automations right now, integration right now, training right now. Slowly we'll do that. That is where the gap is. So there's some challenges. So DevOps team will do everything: design, development, testing, acceptance, delivery, support, maintenance, and capacity planning. Everything will be done by the DevOps, and that is a huge objective. You know that. Okay, so that is where SREs is one of the mid objective, you can say, in order to reach out the DevOps team. So it's very difficult, very challenging. Suddenly you are expecting the multiple teams to become one team, change the mindset, change the culture, change the processes, practices, tool sets, and everything. So rather than doing so harsh way, do it in a slow way, slow manner. So first let them work together, development and operations, let them work together, transform the operations to the SRE team, ask them to integrate and closely work with the development team. Also ask the development team to work with the SRE team, but still making it a two different team, two different functions, not merging it completely, but bring in the close integrations in place. And that is all about the SRE. So guys, are you understanding what I'm trying to talk about? Yes. So this is SRE team. So SRE team and DevOps team, there's something in common, something which you have to do that, which I have discussed more or less. So yes, you have to decide, you put it together, development team and DevOps team, and make it one team that's called DevOps team, or development team will become a development team only and slowly transition to the ops team to SRE team and change their mindset, culture, tool set, automations, and blah, 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 and then let them work together. So this is SRE team. So technology barrier, yes, there will be some common technology which they will be working. So here Docker, Kubernetes and all is a platform. Of course, development team also will work on it. SRE team also will work on it. Programming side, they will only take care of the development team, and here monitoring side, observability and all only taken care by the SRE team. So now we are getting into the discussion of functions of SRE in detailed way. So anyone have any questions? Anyone have any opinions, or you want to share your experiences? And you know, we can have few minutes. Yeah. What do you think? Anyone? What do you think? Let's participate in the discussions.
Yeah, I mean, till now, like what at least I was correlating most of the things, like whatever you have shared, like for the SRE responsibilities, we are doing it, and that needs to be extended for the.
Sure. So guys, any challenges you guys are facing right now in the project? This is a very important thing actually. So what challenges you are facing? Basically, see, everyone is talking about SRE and everyone's talking about DevOps, and then going for DevOps training or SRE training. It will not make any sense. So are you having some challenges in the project? So maybe SRE will help or DevOps will help. So what challenges you are having in the projects? Can we discuss on that front?
So rather than, yeah, so see, rather than challenges in the project, right? Because we as a team, there we don't get into the day-to-day development of the projects, right?
Yes,
but
yes.
as an SRE team, so the all the folks that are in this training, they're more or less, they are we call ourselves as SWAT team. But half the team, they do SRE work. The challenge from the SRE perspective is when some of the development that happens, let's say there's some modernization happens, or some new project or new infrastructure and all these things. So we may not come to know that earlier in the life cycle, right? So that makes it a little bit challenging, if we come to know later, and we have to pull up the socks at that point in time. So that one challenge, this one, but it we have evolved a lot, right, compared to what it was like a couple of years back and now. But still we have some room, and still some more collaboration need to happen at the very earlier stage of the development, like the way you showed in that one of the slide, um, where the SRE is also part of the designing, and development is also part of the capacity planning, right? So that level of early interaction need to happen. That's somehow I feel we are not there yet.
Yeah, yeah, great. Yes, it's a gradual process, guys.
Yeah.
So my experience is very. I mean, see, so many things we have in the software industry, so many keywords which we have. Uh, my understanding is very simple. First, let's change myself, ready to work and automate everything, ready to change myself, learning new technology, new processes, new practices. I will change myself, I will learn my technology, some of the technologies, and then we'll try, everyone will do the same, something similar, and then we'll become a team and change as a team culture of working, change the working style also, changing the commitment, delivery, and all stuff like that. So slowly, gradually, if we keep practicing it and learn from the experiences, some of the things will do good, some of the things will do the bad, and keep filtering it out, the good thing, and then keep practicing and bad things also same way. So that is how gradually we can do the transformations. This is how it is. So I mean, I've been working in the software industry from last 18 years, and every 2 to 3 years we have a new keyword actually. Hey, let's try this, let's try that. And if I look at this, each keyword is around only three milestone, three objective. That means software organization want to improve the quality of the software compared to the last one. That is one thing. Each software organizations want to reduce the release cycle for the software functionality in the market. So earlier we used to do the release in the 5 years, then bring it back to the 1 year, then 6 months, then 3 months, then 2 weeks. Then now hours, maybe second, maybe in future, may, you never know, seconds also may come. So it's like that. And then also on top of that, every software organizations want to reduce the software development cost and running cost. And for that, they want to transform into something different one. So yes, that's a gradual process. Every time we'll have this kind of thing. So now the important question is, how do you practice SRE? Okay, so when you say, okay, I'm changed, I have changed my mindset. Your team will say, we have also brought the different culture, different way of working together, bringing the lots of automation in place, practices, process, tool set, and blah, blah, blah. But what you are going to do on daily basis? So the first thing which you are going to do is eliminating a toil. Okay, there's lots of calculations you can do that, but eliminating a toil, that is a something which you have to start working on it. And then working to the service levels, SLI, SLO, SLAs, and failures means any failures which you have got it, incident, post-mortem, and stuff like that, which you have to do that. So now look at this. This is one of the huge cases. Okay, one of the huge cases. This is one of the toil. Okay, this is one of the toil. So you have a logs, and what you do as a SRE team, you log in weekly and delete the old files. Why? Because this space should not fill it up. Okay. New release logs fill disk daily. So what you did, script to delete the old logs. You created a script to delete the old logs, logs in and run daily. Now, earlier it was in one server, so you used to log in one server daily and then clean it up and script. Now, The same server got increased, scaled up to the 50 server. So what to do? So you introduce the cron job to run the script daily. And the final solution would be, see, this is a toil. Till you start working manually, this is the toil. But the last solution is a superb. Last solution is superb. Work with a dev team to reduce the logs. So are you understanding and you understand the difference between the daily work toil and how can you reduce it while working with a dev team? Because ultimately logs is being generated by application and applications can be configured in a certain ways. So logs can be minimized also. Correct? No? All of you?
Right.
Are you able to correlate this one? So you have
Yes.
to. So this is the process. I mean, this is one case, huge cases. Now we see you as a team, you all have to sit together in one room and you can call that day is a 12 day. Okay, 12 day. And together you sit and see that all of your tickets and experience with the projects and see that which are the toil which you have and which you need to, how can you eliminate permanently or to the maximum level. So this is one of the use cases which we have. Now working with the service labels. Okay. So here, this is one of the use cases. Service level is maintained. Then you did the new release. Because of one bug caused latency issues. So what happened? Increase the capacity, report issues to the development team. Now, new release, config issues cause outages. Now what you did manually, you fix the config and restore the service. Block new release for agreed period. This is, you might have done it. I have done so many times. So what has happened here? You block the release altogether. Why? Because the config issues are there. That means there is a config issues, which is there's a config should be there in the production development, which was there in the pre-production and testing, but it was not there in the production, causing the issues in the software. So have you come across anything as such configuration issues, dependencies issues, or something like that?
Lots in the past, but not recently.
So yeah, this is one of the use cases. You have to see how can you eliminate this.
Can you go back to the earlier slide? So here the block new releases for agreed period, right? So this is where that error budget will come into the picture.
Error budget will
There's
be
a concept called error budget, correct?
Yes, error budget will come into the pictures while setting up the observability. So that means I have had that discussions already, but I'll tell you at a high level. I have a 1 million, so 1,000 requests, and we'll have a contract SLA with the client saying that okay, more than 5 errors is not allowed. I mean, let's say 1,000 I said, right? So maybe more than 10 errors is not allowed. So 10, I mean, they'll find out the percentage, 10 out of 1,000 requests, what is the error percentage of budget? So that's called error budget. That means you cannot cross that more than that. So that's the budget you have it. If you cross that, you'll have to pay penalty for it. So something like that, we have it. So this is one of the issues. It's a toil actually. You have to work on it. How can you work on it? Think about it. Here DNS related changes because you are working operations. Okay, so DNS change causes outage. So what you did? Gone to the Route 53 AWS, fix the DNS issue. You did the postmortem into the root cause, and then you build the DNS change tool. So next time it will not be a problem. So these are the ways you can identify the toil and try to fix it. Okay. So this is the things. So now we are going to learn how do we eliminate toil. How can we automate? So what is a toil? We understand that anything which is labor intensive, repetitive in nature, and can be automated by tools, that is toil. If you're saying, hey, I'm working very hard, day and night, 8 hours in a day. So you are not giving the right credit for it. Yes, we are a human being. We are supposed to do the smart work. So if anything can be done by tools, then why we are doing it? Simple. Repetitive means, I don't have to tell you the repetitive work, we have to automate it. Correct, no? All of you? So toil definition is very straightforward. Anything which you do manually, repetitive in nature, and can be done by tools and robots, that's a toil and you should automate it. This is a toil. What is the overhead? Overhead. So sometimes some administrator codes that have to get done but should not be categorized as toil. This is called overhead. That means there are work done to be done, but don't call as a toil. Your manual work, maybe something like that. Overhead is often not directly tied to the running of production services and include tasks including the hiring, paperwork, sync up, coordination, mails, this, that, and all stuff like that. Okay, review, self-assessment. We 8 hours we spend, but not everything we do for the software product. We go for have some chit chat. We do some training also. We have review meetings, self-assessment, and many other stuff we do that, right? This is called overhead in the SRE concept. So strategic work in SRE. So there are strategic work. These strategies include production readiness reviews, early engagement, and continuous improvement. So now look at this. This is a simple slide. So you as a team decided these are the list of tickets you have. So some of the work, some of the issues, some of the tasks, some of the incidents, some of the bugs, some of the this, that. Some of them are overhead, some of them are toil, and some of them are strategic values work. So you as a team, SRE team, divide all of your work into these 3 categories. Now, what is toil, what is overhead, what is strategic, we understand that, right? All of you?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So if you do not fix toil, the strategic work will be compromised. Look at this here. Organization will stop growing. And the moment organization will stop growing with the no strategic work, then in a few years, you will become obsolete. So see that the importance of toil. Look at this. Toil should not grow because it will impact your strategic work. Correct, ma'am?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
see that what has happened. No future improvement now, only overhead and toil. So that means you are running a system for a few years, and after that your project will go into the waste dustbin. So look at this example work. Again, it's a use case. It's very simple to understand. Let's say if your if your app is not responding, so you will do what? Raise ticket. Think simple. That's very important slide actually. You have to change your mindset a little bit here. So if your app is not responding, you will raise a ticket. Someone will do login to the server, will do some manual, repetitive, automatable work. And what you did, restart the process and start working. Correct now? Reactive, low value, scales linearly. That means there is an issue, then you take action. That's called reactive. Did he really added some values to the project? Not exactly. It's a low value work and scales linearly. So this is the one problem which you have. How do you solve it? Tell me. I want you to think and tell me. How do you solve it with your current experience and with the current knowledge? How do you solve this approach? This is a toil actually. What changes you might bring? Just assume that we are having a team meeting. Okay, all of us are trying to reduce the toil. This is one of the toil, and each one of you will tell the ways to reduce the toil. So what would your take and what input you would like to share for the team? So I need at least 10 inputs for this. Tell me.
App should restart as soon as it stops responding. Automate it in that way.
Automated.
Yeah.
That's a very good strategy actually. Yeah. But what technology is new?
App not responding means someone is trying to test and raise a ticket, right? So before that itself, if we have a good observability, we should be able to know by using some alerts.
Very
App
good
is responding on
input. Yeah, very good input. What else?
Yeah, we have a tool called Phantom. So that can be used for this automating the restart process, which as Ajos called out. We have
Yes,
used it for a couple of scenarios.
that is also good. Yeah, I have used the run deck also, in fact. Yeah, what else? More output guys.
We have to have a better logging. So if you're automating that every time, if you're not able to ping to that app, you want to restart. At the same time, we should be logging somewhere so that we know how many times the system has been logging. So whatever the automation we are doing it, we should also have a track of what is happening behind us.
Something like auditing, something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good input. Yeah, more inputs, guys. I mean, I think we are getting very good inputs actually from all of you. Yeah, please tell me.
They should be monitoring that the app is not responding. So before the user can raise a ticket, the team can work on it.
Yes, that is also good input. Yes. So overall, yes, these are the practices as a team. Yeah, please continue.
Alerting, like when apps not responding, we should have the automation job monitor and send the alert email so the team can quickly respond.
Yes, that's also good. Yep. So yes, so many useful insight. So yes, is it a toil? So human said, hey, I can do this. So robot is saying, hey, me too. I can also do that. What's the big deal? So yeah, try to find out the engineering approach in SRE. So whenever you try to, fix the toil, first see that whether it's strategic value, whether do we have strategic value? If I want to fix this toil, how much it will give me the benefit out of it? How many hours it will save? How much cost it will save? And human, sometime, there's a one thing which we call it, sometime toils are also good. See, sorry, we are learning because to avoid the toils, eliminate the toils, but sometimes we love the toils. Why? Sometimes because we are all are human beings, right? We are all are connected with emotions and feeling of failures and success. So sometimes when you fix the toil manually also, then you will get an appreciation email saying that, hey, good job, Rajesh, good job, Chandan, good job, Mahesh. So you feel good actually. So if you feel sense of achievement. So that is also good toil actually. So not every time toil is bad. But yeah, coming back to the strategic value, try to find out strategic value, high values and stuff like that and get it done. So yes, you need to bring the practices, system engineering, software engineering. System engineering works on the configuration and tuning. Software engineering works on the reliability and scalability. So here, what to do? So here app is not responding. Raise a ticket, log into the server, restart the process. This is a toil. What about if I migrate to the container? What about if I migrate to the container and that Docker and Kubernetes, they have inbuilt health check capability. And if one of the app, one of the container, one of the pod is not responding, they'll immediately replace within a milliseconds, replace with a new container all restart themselves. I don't have to write any configurations, any code, any tools and something. Just change in the platform. What about this idea? Is it good idea or not?
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything. Why I should bother about learning new tools, configuration changes, configuring in hundreds of servers and all these things? Just change the platform. Container has a health check, built-in health check. So runtime change, use platform capability, don't fix the issues. That is how you have to change your mindset to fix the toil. You have to fix the toil. You have to eliminate the toil for the long run. Yes, all of your inputs is perfectly fine. I must tell you. Let's say if you are not in a container, you are not migrating in a container within a 1 month, right? So you have to do that. Whatever you said, you 100% correct statement and 100% correct input. All of you will have to do that, but you have to also see that how can we fix this kind of issues permanently. There is a configuration changes happen in the development team, which got not introduced in the testing or maybe introduced in the testing team, but not in operations. Why? Because development environment is different, QA environment is different, production environment is different. What about you migrate to the container? So you are running the same image in the development, same image in the testing, same image is in the production, and it's a permanent solution. So that is how something you have to bring the values, technology in a ways. So it is a permanent fix rather than short-term fix. So we'll have to come up as a team to bring all these ideas together and find out which is the best way to, eliminate the toils. Okay, so it's a permanent fix, more work, introduces risk, fix clicks and all stuff like that. We can work on it. So yes, so practice of SRE, I mean, in terms of toil, Google suggests we should not have more than 50% of the toil in an overall bucket in SRE team. Okay, you should never have a 50%, more than 50%, max 50%. So because you have a strategic work also, overhead work also, so more than 50% is not recommended. So yes, Google uses 50%. They have communicated publicly, commitment to the team. Toil guaranteed, yes, will is a part of the job. Management support, clear differences from ops and stuff like that. So yeah, these are some of the animations or visualizations, which you can say visualizations for like what should be the ticket toil. We can keep fixing it. What should be the percentage amount? So I just said toil. Here in this image, you have a 50% toil, out of which some of the toils you do that manual work, and remaining toils you try to automate it, eliminate it with the high strategic value work and also like that. So some of the practices you have to bring in this practice. The moment you start practicing it, you'll get to know all this strategy. I think all of us are very expert in it. What should be solved first? Which should not be touched first? Or what are the things which we can do easily? Which things we cannot do easily? How much time it will require? How much of budget is required for fixing and eliminating the toil? So these all things I don't think so I have to teach you, because we are coming with this built-in knowledge actually over the period of time. So yeah, toil can be attractive, quick fixes, sense of achievement, but it's short term and it's bad for morale. Team energy dips, strategic project stalls, and people move on. So that's what I said, right? If you automate everything, sometimes some toils are also good actually, as I said, because it's really boost team's energy, individual, aspirations and all stuff like that. So it impacts a lot because we all are human beings. Yes, so there's some of the process to identify and measuring toils. So you look at this here. This is one of the use cases. Here, this is the task which is one of the tasks which we have. So see here. Add. So there's one user has got introduced in the system. One, let's say new joining. So what need to be done? So manually, what you'll do? Let's say I'm joining your team tomorrow. So I will say, hey guys, can you add my access to your system? Then you'll do something like this. Add me to the GitHub repos. Then second step, so I got a source code access, then cloud access. You will add my access to the Azure subscription. Then third thing you'll add my access to the Slack channels. Then after that, some of the systems as a read only and some of the systems as a coordinator. And can you automate this? Think about it. Can you automate it? And mind it here, when you are automating it, you have to keep this in the practice. These things, whether it's strategic value, high value, I mean that toil is really worth of fixing it. Whether strategic is in the long term or it's just a short term, or is it really human can do or machine can do. So all this thing perspective you have to think about it. So tell me your input here, all of you. Approach. Just tell me the approach, which can be done easily, which cannot be done easily, and stuff like that. Which is required lots of budget, bandwidth, time, worth of doing it, which is not required lots of worth of doing it. So
adding to GitHub repo is easy, right? And
API call. API call.
API call. Then
subscription also API call.
That's also an API call.
Slack also API call, so it's easy.
Yeah. Add to system X.
This is really you have to do the background work, yeah. Which system he should be having access, which system not, all this thing. So yeah, some is worth of it, some are not worth of it. So you have to break it down each toil also and do that. So yes, data-driven analysis. I think I'm not deep diving into this discussion because more or less we understand at a high level. Data-driven analysis, identify the toil, quantify ongoing cost, how much it will cost us to fix it, and see that how much toil reduction backlog, prioritize the project which is important, which is not important, and see the progress of overall. See the cost benefit analysis, which is good, which is not good. I mean, which is costly to fix, which is not costly to fix. All this thing you have to have a checklist for each toil. You will do that, this one, and then based on that prioritize the thing. So you will also see that automation projects, software engineering, support, maintenance, updates, how much is required. Let's say I automate today. I can do anything. You can do anything. You all are engineers. You can do anything, but you have to maintain also, right? You have to support also. You have to upgrade also. But is it really cost required for that? Build cost versus toil cost, time to value, maintenance and support, sharing with the team, other team. Okay, outages, unused capacity. So yeah, you have to have a right checklist for identifying, measuring the each toil and which is worth of, doing it and which is not worth of it. You have to also do the proper analysis and documentation and repeatable process and stuff like that. So yeah, so these are some of the checklist. You have to plan for the number of days, how many number of toil which we have, which are the priorities one, how many days we are going to spend on it, how many of days we are going to work on the strategic work or post any other work and stuff like that. So yeah, like that. So this is the idea when you start working as a team in the team meeting. You'll say, okay, there is a one toil called onboarding, there's a one toil called patching, there's one toil called provisioning. How much effort? Maybe 1 day for this, patching 2 days, provisioning 1 day. How much frequency, repetitive work which is happening on the onboarding? Maybe 5 times in a month or something, 2x in a month, 3x in a month, something like that. So how many days you required for that? 5 days, 4 days, 3 days. So this kind of table you will create for the toil based on your experience and team meetings and all stuff like that. And then you will decide to that what to do, what not to do. So here you see that for a few things we have APIs, it can be automated. For rest of the things we don't have APIs, but required days is 65 days. Is it worth automating it? I think I'll just automate the first 3 and leave the rest of the things. Okay, so again, OS patching, how many days? 40 days, which can be automatable, which cannot be automatable. Are we having right bandwidth? These are all planning you have to do at each toil level actually. This is a 10. So yes, prioritize. So right now, priorities, but we did this. So same issues, onboarding issues, patching issues, and provisioning issues. So for that we decided, okay, 12 days is 5 times project. If you want to automate it, it will take 65 days, patching 40 days, provisioning 10 days. So you can prioritize which is important for you and stuff like that. So which one you should focus and stuff like that. So yeah, this is how it's a things which you have to do. So toil reduction side effects. Productivity, it increases system reliability and availability, it increases tool sets become a standard over the period of time. System simplification and culture of automations. So yes, priority probably 10 days. You will do the first. Based on, I'm discussing. I'm not telling you something which has released. This information, these things you'll take a call as a team. So this is my priority number 1. This is my priority number 3rd. This is my priority number 2nd. So this is how you do that. Okay, so yeah, this is the something we decided, and you will do something like this work offline as a team members. So now you will see that how many engineers you have available, so you can allocate them to the work on those stuff and accordingly. So yes, 12 days, 5 days project estimate, 65 days, and all stuff like that. So after that, all this work, what about the dealing with the remaining 12? So keep doing it. It's a repeated work. Identify and measure batch up and ignore some of this. Ignoring is also good for some time. You should also see some of the techniques at a service facade, self-service, uniformities and stuff like that. Okay, so now.
Hey Raj, sorry. Can you please give a little more insights on? Can you please go to the previous slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, impact reduction techniques, self-service, service facade, uniformity.
So service facade means sometimes you make it self-service also. I mean, service facade means you create a automatable process and make it self-service rather than you doing it. Your clients or end users can do that also. Uniformity means bringing the single tools for fixing all the problems or single process for all this eliminating the toils. So these are the things which you can do to impact reduction in techniques. For example, I'll put it in this way. Source code management, you are using GitLab also, Bitbucket also, and Gerrit also, and GitHub also. 4 tools. So of course you have to support more. You have a more toils. What about bring it 1? So that's one of the initiative. So bring it the uniformities for this and get it better. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the service level. Little bit of things we have discussed, but we'll also discuss the service level monitoring and alerting. So service level indicator, SLIs, service level objective, SLO, and service level agreement, SLAs. So remember that if you want to implement the SRE, first thing, eliminate the toil. And I gave you little bit of idea about how to eliminate the toil. So first thing, what is toil? How to identify the toil, how to measure the toil, how to prioritize the toil. So these are the things you have to do as a team and make sure that all the time the toil should be lesser than 50% of the overall work. And you should, out of 50%, 33% you can always work to reduce it, eliminate it. Some toils are good, but again, you as a team have to decide which toils are good, which toils are not good, and prioritize the budget, prioritize the number of days, see the skill set which you have available, and based on that you do the auditing and then finalize the stuff. At a high level, all of you are understanding this, eliminating the toil process.
Yes.
Okay, now what about the service level management? So this is the second work which you have to do that. So yeah, so SLI. In a simple way, I say SLI is something which you get it from the observability. In simple, more simpler way, monitoring. So SLI is basically a matrix, measures, okay, which you get it from the system. So it can be response time, request time, it can be storage, it can be pipeline, and different types of SLI is there. So second thing is SLO, objective. So let's say your CPU real time utilization is 70%. I'm putting in a very simple way. So what is the objective? So your objective should be, okay, so it should be lesser than 65%. That means still is under objective. And SLA is agreement is 80% or something like that. So if it's going more than 80%, you are breaching the contract. You have to pay for it. You have to have a fine for it. But SLO is making sure that it should be below the SLs. And SLI is a real one. And SLA, service level agreement, or contractual agreement that outline the level of services end user can expect from the service provider. So now SLI, the real number on your performance, the SLOs, the objective your team must hit to meet that agreement. SLA, the agreement that you make with your clients or users. So this is the thing. So here through the SLI.
Rajesh, sorry to disturb you. Right? Can you go back to the earlier slide? So SLIs is very clear. Okay, this is the whatever is currently happening in your system. You use the monitoring tools to get the numbers out of it. And SLA is something that you define with the stakeholders that I'll be, I'm most of the time I'll be operating at this level, right?
Yes.
And if the SLA is breached, then you have the liberty or privilege to question me or penalize me for breaching that SLA. Now SLO still not, at least I'm not getting a very clear
SLO
on what
means
this.
So you will call me saying that, hey, Rajesh and John and Peter, let's have one meeting. Meeting for what? Meeting for deciding that till how much we should maintain the numbers, the metrics, the threshold, that number. So it should not breach the SLA at any given point of the time, because if you breach the SLA, it's bringing lots of huge cost to your company. So you will say, let's say SLA is set by the client saying that if you breach 80% of the CPU, I'm just putting in a simple way, 80% of the CPU, then you have to pay for it. Then what we'll do, we'll play a tactics within a team. We'll say, hey, 80% are SLA. If you breach, there's a problem. Can we set 70% for ourselves only? So 10% gap will be having. Now,
so you're setting the SLO so that you don't have to pay for your client to breach the
team
SLA.
Team objective.
Yeah, got it.
Now I'll put it in one more way. Let's say client is saying out of 100 requests, only one error is allowed. That means your percentile is 99%. So that means error budget is only 1%. So we'll say we'll plan ourselves only. See, 1% is like okay, 99 percentile. So that means can we have one thing? Can we set the error out of 100? I think 100 will be little lot to calculate. Let's make it 1,000. 1,000 out of it, 10 error is allowed. That's 1%. So we'll set up SLO saying that okay, out of 1,000 requests, only the number of errors which you are getting from the APM or whatever it is, let's say 7. So 7 we will try to control. So at any given point of time, we will not touch the 10. And maybe SLA is SLI is a realistic number. Make sense?
Got it. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So we can say it's a internal SLA within the team.
Within a team, yes. Because you don't want to breach the
Yeah, this is a defensive mechanism so that you don't get into that SLA breach mode.
Yes.
SLO is like when we have to take action.
It's simple logic actually. I'll put it in a one very simple way. It's like, see, you have a train at 10 o'clock, but why you want to reach to at 9:30? Tell me.
You don't miss the bus.
Yes, simple. Because you can reach 9:59 also, and you will not miss the bus. I mean train, sorry. But you want to reach at 9:30. So because you want to keep some buffer in your hand, so something can be adjusted over the period of time. Correct? No?
Yeah, makes sense.
Whether an SLI is like if train is set at 10 o'clock and it may go up to 10:30 or something like that. Okay, so SLI, SLO, SLA, key performance metrics, measure product characteristics calculated in a percentage. SLO, core of SRE practices, data-driven approach, build smart SLOs. By the way, SRE team is not SRE team without SLO and SLA. That means if you have not set the SLO at least, I'm not sure about the SLA, but that means you do not have SRE team, because the SRE team, the core principle of a SRE team is to eliminate the 12 second ones managing the service level. So service level, if you have not set SLOs, that means what you are working for it, what is your objective, what is your target for the team. So it's important. And then SLA. Okay, so yeah, these are some of the differences with the SLI, SLO, and SLA. I'll not get into that too much because we have discussed at a high level. And I assume that many of us understand that it's not very difficult because we are in the same domain. So yes, this is the things. So these are the team members and stakeholders, SLI, SLOs, and SLA, who's involved and all. Some of the graphs for this. So here, objective is 200 milliseconds. Agreement is at the 300 milliseconds. And if 300 milliseconds, if you cross, customers are angry, upset. If you is below this, below that 300 milliseconds, sad. If you are below this SLO, your customers are happy. So this is the UX. So you see here, this is the mood of expressions when your customers are happy or when they're sad and when they're frustrated and stuff like that. So how to set the SLA? I mean, every tools actually nowadays, if you see, will have SLA set for that. So Datadog is one of the tools which you can learn. Neuralink, you can use that. Elastic, you can use. Grafana, you can use. So they're all places you can set the SLA. Now error budget. We had a little bit of discussions actually. So yes, error budgets are acceptable levels of unreliability for a service before it falls out of compliance with an SLO. So, but error budget means something which is allowed, and if you cross more than that, again the financial burden you have it. So you cannot sustain those error budgets more than that the threshold or SLO what you have. So this is the key terms which you use a lot to identify the number of, let's say, millions of users are having the access. I mean, they're accessing your services, out of which how many requests, how many clients you want the 404 error. That's called error budget. How many are allowed? That is a budget. Okay, so this is something which we have. So yes, we can set the success rate in percentage, response time in percentage, response time also in the percentage. So different things you can set it up. These are some of the graph templates which has been given by Google to set the SLOs. So this is the way to find out. So let's say if you set the SLO at 99%, that means how many total scope of errors you have in the downtime you may have in the 28 days. So here you see the 28 days is equal to this much of minutes. So that means if you set your SLO 99%, you will have only 7 hours to restore their problems, incident or wrong. But if you set the 99.9%, then you have only 40 minutes. And if you set the SLO at the 99.99%, then that means in a 28 days, you have only 4 minutes to solve their problems. And if you set 99.9999%, that means you have 0.4 minutes. So you have to wisely decide the SLOs and things like that. So you're understanding that this is just to the input to your mind, so you can plan SRE better, SLOs better. Are you understanding all of you?
Yes.
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah, so this is some of the discussion. I'll just skip it. You see here, this is the 20 days duration, out of which 99.9% SLO if you set. You see that error budget is 0.01%. These all are a mathematical formula, and it's easy to understand that when you are handling the servers and that. So this is something which we haven't. So I'll skip some of the topics because we have a limited time also. And monitoring. Yeah. So now guys, when you want to set up observability, nowadays we all call these 4 golden signals. No matter which tools you go for it, you can set up the alerting for 4 golden signals. That means you should be having alerts for latency, traffic, errors, and saturations. So this week, 4 things we call it the 4 golden signals, which you can do that: latency, traffic, errors, and saturations. Okay, so this is the Prometheus things. I'm not getting into the tooling part right now because and some of the stuff. So yep. I'm just checking. So now post-mortem incident management. So this is the third pillar of
blameless postmortem.
Yeah. So many features are there. I'm just ignoring. I have more than 500 slides actually. That is. Yeah. So first thing we discussed about eliminating the toil. We understood that process. Then managing the service level. We at a high level we understood this. Then third important characteristics of SRE implementation is managing the incident. So how do you manage it? What are the standard response you have it? Are we having the playbook? Playbook means run book here I'm talking about. Different tools, we call it a different. In a Datadog, we call it a notebook. In a run deck, we call it a playbook only. Sorry, a run book. So it's like this, playbook and here. So you decide this based on the past experiences and complexity, and you set the investigation time and impact. So these are more or less understandable, okay, because if you go for any tools, actually, I'm sure you might have used any tools such as Jira or let's say GitLab or let's say GitHub or some incident management tool, I'm sure. So there you see that these are the fields are already automated. Most of the products, they have a template, best template available for managing the incident. That means who's the person, what is the issues first of all, which release, which version, where the which server, what kind of issues, who should be working on it, what should be the time where he should be working on it, and all stuff like that. Is it related to some other issues or something like that? So this is the incident template actually. So you should understand that, but most of the tools which you use it by default, you are coming back with that certain templates actually. So different roles we have in the incident management. So we have incident commander, sub commander leads, we have ops lead, we have so different roles within the teams. We have it and work on it. So yes, what to do? This is something which we need to understand and follow the practice. You know, sometimes what happens, we know that many things, but we don't follow. Why? Because we feel this is too much to do that. So just, do the quick fixes and come out of it. But actually SRE is emphasizing on the following the right process. Okay, so first thing, you have issues, you have incident, tries that, then examine it, diagnose it, test it, and cure it. So these are the model which we follow for each and everything. So these are the practices which you should do that. So tries means get back to the good enough. As some remediation tactics, add computer power, reroute traffic, downgrade services, output stable system. Examine means understand the problem, identifying the trigger. Investigation tool you can use for the matrices, dashboard, logging, service graph, distributed tracing. So this, if you see that investigation tool, any observability tools will help you, like a Datadog, Neural Lake, and stuff like that. And again, as part of it, examine, understand the problem. Output, know the problem, and trigger. Diagnose. So find the possible cause. Use the analysis tool, again, same vertical path through systems. Why is it doing? Why is not doing on what should be done? What are the resources going? Where did it start and all? Output shortlist the potential cause. And then test it, cure it. So yeah, how do we publish the post-mortem reports? That's important. You have to follow some of the practices as well over there. So post-mortem reports, I can share with you some of the template. But nowadays we have so many tools available to share the post-mortem tool, and they will give you the template also. So yes, post-mortem goals, You have to document the incident and resolutions, identify the root cause and fix it. Formal documentation drafted by SRE team, review and publish. Process you should be having in place. Continuous improvement you should be having it. One more important thing, it should be blame free. What is a blame free, blameless? Both are same. So what is a blame free and blameless? Any idea? Blameless.
Solving the problem, not the person who created the problem.
Yes, yes, because we all are human beings. We all are making mistakes. Some of you will make less mistakes. Some of you will do the more mistake. So yes, it should be blameless, blame free, and natural and constructive continuous improvement program. So this is the one of template you see. I'm not focusing too much on it because I know that each one of us are using the very good tools for sure, which where we can capture the postmortems. So let me remind you some of this, some of the tools which if you are not using. Are you using Confluence?
Yes.
Confluence? Yeah. So you have a template already, multiple template for the postmortem. Okay. If you're using Jira, yes, you have it. If you're using Datadog, we call it a notebook. If you're using this one, what do you say? Neuralink, then we have a runbook over there. So yes, most of the tools, if you look at this in SRE domain, they have a very nice template, but the only challenge what we have is we are not doing it. So we have to start doing it. We have to motivate each and everyone saying that, hey, any products, any incident which you're working, please submit postmortem document, blameless, and only about the following the certain process and practices. Okay, so these are some of the best practices for the postmortem. I'll just ignore this topic. I'm saying that, yeah. So guys, yeah. So overall, what we discussed, what is SRE? Okay, let me write out this one. This we are doing the summary actually for whatever we learned. So we discuss about what is SRE. Why SRE is important. Why SRE is important. Difference between Ops versus SRE versus DevOps. Roles in SRE. Activities in SRE. Functions in SRE. What is toil and how to reduce it? What is SLI, SLA, and SLO, and how to manage it? What is incident and postmortem? And how? This is the SRE. So first thing, important thing, if how to, there's one more question I would like to add, how to transform from Ops to SRE. This is the most important question as per my experience. First thing, step number one, change your mindset. Each one of us. Second, change the team culture. Third thing, sit together and identify the toils and start working on it to eliminate it. Fourth thing, set up a complete observability. Observability is a huge topic, so I'm not discussing it, but yeah, setting up a complete observability. Work with the development team, engineering team for during the design, development and capacity planning. And always keep improving it. Keep improving it. So this is the SRE. What do you think? All of you? Any inputs you would like to add, which I'm forgetting it? I just skipped some of the discussions. More than 1,000 slides are there. This, if I get into this, will become a very complex. But I want to share with you some of the tools for that. This is the many tools are there. URL also I would like to share with you. Refer this one, and if you select the Java, so more or less many tools which you have here, different problems, different things we have to do that. So you have to set up a configuration management, containers, monitoring, infra monitoring, log monitoring, performance monitoring, security monitoring, and many other stuff. So guys.
So whoever is an SRE, it's a good to know all those tools, right? Whatever is mentioned in the DevOps school.
Yes. So guys, what are the tools as per my recommendation? What are the tools? This I'm not discussing in detail. I'm just giving you input directly. What are the tools SRE should? This is a definitely you have to do that. All the tools you have to understand that, so it will help you. But you should be very much expert in web server. Correct now? Because all of you are running in the web server applications, so that is important. You should know Kubernetes, Docker, and Kubernetes orchestration tool like Rancher or OpenShift or something. You should be mastered in. For this is a very good one. Security, availability, reliability, and all you can set through the service mesh. Okay, you should be very good in terms of service discovery, network configurations. Security is very important part of SRE. So many tools you can learn from me. Okay, infrastructure monitoring, again, so many tools are there. And some of these I'm mentioning here. So Prometheus, log monitoring tool, incident response using PagerDuty or Observability, and some production environment scheduler and troubleshooter and automation run deck and monitoring tools. So you learn all these tools here and here also. So if probably again, I'm not asking you to be, this is the only solution which you have in. I'm just giving you my inputs, and probably this will help you. All of you are understanding this?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yes.
The tools that you have mentioned.
Here some of these tools and some of the tools here.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions, guys? Any inputs?
Rajesh, will it be possible to share the slides so that we can at least go through the topics which are skipped?
Yes. So here, every slides I'll share with you. Anyways, that's not a problem. Yeah. So site reliability. Yes. So the slides are there.
One.
Yeah.
Please finish.
Yeah. Tell me.
Okay. So what are the mechanisms we have, right? Like alerting or dashboard, right? So these are all like not actually in reality it is not proactive, it is all reactive only. Once a system is impacted, then only like we are able to identify, right? And now moreover, like we are all into AI, right? So based on the previous data patterns, and how can we predict the application's health or application performance, anything with respect to SLIs, right? How can we proactively take actions or get information about that?
Yeah, so that is where what you have to set up observability. Okay, observability. So that is where Now, what is observability? How it is different from monitoring? Which are the tools available for observability? So this required little bit of discussion. So what I can do, morning only I had one session on the observability front. I'll share that video with someone, one of you, and then you can exchange it.
Sure, you can share it here itself. I mean, in this chat, right? So
yeah, sure. Okay, guys. So now what to do? So guys, I have. Can we stop the recording, all of you? All of you.
okay, you want me to stop the recording?
Yeah, please go ahead.